working coast to coast, sleeping on a train, caught between the satellites and on the road again. People often ask me where it is I'm from. I find it hard to tell them, so I sing it in a song. Eagle in the mountain, floating on the breeze. Shark out in the ocean, he's happy in the deep. Me, I've got my own place, it's good enough for me. You could find me anywhere, between the mountains and the sea. I've been a lot of places, done a lot of things. Some of them were so good, I'd do those things again. The town that I was born in, it knows me all too well. I hope they'll take me back there, when the keeper rings the bell. Oh, but that eagle in the mountains, floating on the breeze. Shark out in the ocean, he's happy in the deep. Me, I've got my own place, oh, yeah, it's good enough for me. You can find me anywhere, between the mountains and the sea. Sometimes I stop and wonder how it came to this life of lonely traveling, so far from civil bliss. Oh, them people on the journey, oh, some I've loved so deep, others took advantage, oh, and some had no idea. But that eagle in the mountains, a rainbow in the sky, shark out in the ocean, he's following the tide. Oh, spirit of this country, I hear it speak to me. When the wind is calling, between the mountains and the sea. When the wind is blowing, between the mountains and the sea.
Isn't that good? That's a song called Mountains of the Sea. That's a new single with did you hear that?
Is that Muriel Day?
It's not Muriel Day.
Who is it?
It's Imelda May and Mary Black. As a matter of fact,
Muriel
you know,
Day.
I understand why you're saying that, because it actually sounds, it's reminiscent of Muriel Day, and if it had been Muriel Day, I'd have been the first one to tell the people. That's from a new album. It's called Stories from the Steeples, and that's Mary Black, as I said before, and Imelda May. It's called Mountains of the Sea. Good morning, everyone. I hope we're all recovering from the weekend. Did you celebrate St. Patrick's birthday on Saturday? Hello? Did
me?
you celebrate? Yes.
Me? No.
Did you join your shamrock?
No, I celebrated my wife's birthday yesterday.
Oh, well, congratulations to your wife's birthday yesterday. Excellent.
So,
People were writing to me and telling me about the things that happened, amusing anecdotes about St. Patrick's Day. A gentleman writes to me and he said, me and my wife, we are both East Belfast reservoir prods. That's what he says here.
Right.
We were in London for St. Paddy's Day and met a lovely wee guy from Derry, Stoke Londonderry, called Brian O'Doherty, and a girl from Meath called Dewey, D-O-E-Y, it's spelled. The Crack in the Tipperary was mighty. That's obviously a pub in London called the Tipperary. Are you familiar with it? I'm not.
No.
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Neither have I. The Crack in the Tipperary was mighty, and he was big into music. He spoke very highly of you. That's me. And the guy at Radio Foyle who was one of the Undertones. And when... That's Michael, of course, inside.
And I wasn't mentioned.
No. And when the Tipperary pub shut, he laughed when I told him that we didn't originally like the Undertones, not because of their music, but because they were Catholics.
That's great.
Isn't that great? Oh, dear. I enjoy myself too, don't I?
I'm glad now they never mentioned me.
They didn't know what you were.
No.
Sean Coyle. What could, there's a, you don't know. Michelle writes to me and says, there's some truth in the expression beauty sleep. She says, I found out the hard way. I went to our local pub with my daughter on St. Patrick's Day. Would you go to your local pub with your daughter on St. Patrick's Day? Would you? Is that the correct example of parents should show? Of course you would.
On St. Patrick's Day?
Of course you would.
I don't know.
You don't know. We went out to the smoking area and got talking to a lovely couple whom we had never met before. After a few minutes, we said we were mother and daughter. The man and woman were shocked and said they had thought we were mates around about the same age. As much as my daughter likes to look older than she is, I wasn't sure that was a compliment for her until they said they thought I looked about 28 or 30. Their jaws dropped when I said I'm nearly 43. My daughter and I then went to an all-night party at a friend's house. I nipped to the loo about 9 a.m. and looked... 9 a.m., that's 9 in the morning, of course. That's what I call an all-night party. I looked in the mirror. Having sat up all night, I could not believe the wrinkles that had appeared overnight. If the couple had seen me then, we got home and I slept from 11 o'clock until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What a difference 4 hours makes. I was back to normal. Not a wrinkle inside. Very scary to see what lack of sleep can do. And you've seen what it does to me sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come in here looking like a man of 50. Really bad.
Yeah.
And then I'm all right when I get a bit of rest. I'm 40 again.
You're looking all right this morning.
Thank you very much indeed. I think it's a lot to do with the fitness regimen I began over the weekend.
Yeah, you look clean.
Well, it's not hard to be clean. Although in your case... No, sorry, in my case, I should say you regard it as being maybe perhaps difficult for me to keep myself clean.
Yeah, but you do look clean.
I see. Soap and water is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. And you look rested.
I do look rested, yes.
Yes, you do look rested.
But I drank quite a lot over the weekend. But I drank at the right times.
Well, we don't need to know that.
No, I'm telling you. It's St. Patrick's Day. Do you mean to say, why should I be ashamed of having a drink at the weekend? I was a little tiddly now on Saturday night, a little tiddly last night as well. But it's all over now. Do you know why? Because I'm broadcasting, that's why, Sean. Because you see, when I come in here in the morning...
It's a horrible word.
This is the most important... Broadcasting?
Tiddly.
Tiddly.
It's a hateful word.
What's wrong with it?
Emma. Emma said it's hateful.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's hateful the way it is.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Look, it's not
not a man's word. I knew you were going to say it.
Yes.
Not a man's word. Well, maybe I'm not a man.
Yeah.
Tiddly. What would you say? Pissed. What would you say? What would you say?
Emma said
a little inebriated, would you say?
A little tipsy.
Tipsy's worse.
No, it is not. Tipsy's better than tiddly.
Tipsy is not better than tiddly.
It is so.
Tipsy is not. Tipsy is tipsy. Tiddly is tiddly. That's not... What do you think? If you had a choice...
Emma says tiddly means we.
Well...
You see?
It's another story. Anyway, let's greet the people who are at home. This is the bank holiday.
There's certain people would get tiddly. And you're not one of them.
I'm a tiddly person.
You're not a tiddly man. You're not. I'm telling you now.
Well, may Emma laugh.
I'll tell you now. I'll give you... I think Noel Thompson would be a tiddly man. He would.
Well, he'd be tiddly now. There's nothing else to do.
Noel would be tiddly.
All right.
And... Let's see. Mike Nesbitt would be tiddly.
Oh, not anymore. He's going to be the leader of the party.
But he would be.
He wouldn't be tiddly anymore.
He's a tiddly man.
He won't be a tiddly. I'll stop
Rafferty,
being tiddly.
Sean Rafferty would be a tiddly man.
Absolutely. And Julian Simmons, he's very tiddly.
Right. But there's certain men who are tiddly, and you're not one of them.
Listen, I want to tell you something. I want to make you realise something. This is a bank holiday, of course.
You're a wee half-tight man.
I want to make you aware of something. This is a bank holiday, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are many people listening to this programme who don't normally listen to the programme. So let's make an effort to make it sound as if some of it is planned. So let me try and introduce the programme and tell the listeners what they can expect. Good morning, everyone. I like to say hello to new listeners. If you want to take part, tell me amusing anecdotes about what happened on St. Patrick's Day, give us a ring here. The number is simple to remember, 08459555678. I'll do that a little slower because I know that was quick. 08455... What is it?
08459.
0845... Go on, you do it.
08459 555 678.
Very well done.
Thank you.
There is an email address which you may use, and I will be the only one who sees your messages. It's jerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. And there's a text messaging service for those of you who have not sobered yet. Everyone sees those. They're worthless. 81771. What you can expect in the programme today? Oh, much clever conversation, and indeed maybe sporadic interviews with people who may turn up. That's it.
Yeah.
Also, do you want to rescue a hen?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Right. Oh, you see? No. All right.
No, because I couldn't look after it properly.
I know you
Simple
couldn't.
as that. That's all.
Could I be so bold? These are the people from the Nut House Hen Rescue and Rehoming Unit. Now, I'm very keen on this because I think this is a great thing to do. And maybe other people might think it's a silly thing to do, but I don't think it's not. I don't think it is a silly thing to do. People rescue battery hens and they give them a home. And I think it's the highest aspiration one can reach to. Could I be so bold as to ask you to give another mention earlier in the week, commencing 19th of March, which is today? Our next rescue date is Saturday the 24th of March. We currently have bookings for 150 hens, but I want to fill my crates and bring out 360. There's 360 hens in there, Sean, waiting for a kind-hearted person to say, "Come on, wee hen." I need people to want to give them good homes. And also, on the positive side, with the price of eggs soaring, imagine your own eggs delivered daily in your back garden. Let me explain. The reason why these hens are being got rid of by the people who own them is because once the hens stay in a battery state for a long, long time, they start to get very unhealthy and they stop. They stop laying eggs. So what does the caring people who look after them do? They kill them then. But you see, if they are rescued, they will be brought back, they put in a field, whatever it is, and I know I'm popping and I'm sorry, but they'll regain their health and then start laying again.
I was told, I don't know how true this is, but I was told that those battery hens end up in chicken soup.
Well, I would say so, yeah. These girls, as we call the hens...
About, tins of... the tin.
I know, yeah. I know what a tin of chicken soup is.
Yeah.
I know. These girls, we will refer to the hens henceforth as girls. These girls deserve a chance at life. The way they have lived their life is far from perfect. Just so, as the consumer can have cheap eggs, and then at 22 months of age they are considered past it and sent to slaughter, only to be replaced by new hens who have never had the chance to be real hens, never see the light of day, never knowing what it's like to peck at something, never knowing what it's like to have more than 4 inches between you and another hen. I challenge anyone to come and visit us at Nut House Hen Rescue and Rehoming Centre and tell me that these girls don't have a personality of their own. Each hen has a personality. They're such ingenious, social and loving creatures that just need to be able to have a life after commercial farms. The girls are the best de-stressor I've ever found. I spend hours in their company and I'm mesmerised by their grace and beauty, and then they go and do something amazing. They lay an egg. The egg-bearing process is definitely something amazing. A hen can have several eggs inside at different stages. Her body then chooses the most developed one and carries it along through the various stages, applying the membrane and shell, and then delivering such a delicate object into the nest box. This amazing feat is done approximately every 26 hours. Did you know that? That a hen would have 2 or 3 in the breech?
No, I didn't know.
And the hen automatically selects the best one and makes that into a real egg.
And what happens to the other ones?
I think they go into the chicken soup. I don't know.
What happens to the one that she rejects?
Well, probably turn into waste product. As usual, please consider yourself and Sean invited to our next rescue day if you have time. I do recall Sean being tempted to adopt a few hens. Did you indicate that you might have been tempted?
No, I said that I would like to do it, but it's not. I can't look after them. I can't.
Tell him I will hold some beauties for him and he won't be disappointed.
No, it's not that. It's just that
You don't feel confident that you can give a hen a good home?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You don't feel confident you have the time to devote to them?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? I can
yes.
understand that. I'd be the same myself. I live a busy jet-set life, as you know. Anyway, the people who are involved in this can be got at a website, www.nuthousehenrescue, NUTHOUSE, henrescue.co.uk. For one horrible moment, I thought that I sounded a wee bit like Jimmy Young did there. Did you think I sounded a wee bit like Jimmy Young?
No.
Remember Jimmy Young used to be on after Wogan in the morning on Radio 2?
Oh, that's Jimmy Young. I see when you said Jimmy Young.
Who did you think?
I was thinking on
J.Y. Prog.
no.
T.T. Finau.
I call your man James.
James Young.
James, is that this? James.
You're going to bet in the royal.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
James Young.
Yeah, that's right. I thought about.
Who's alive and well on Radio Ulster every Saturday morning in the capable mouth of William Caulfield. www.nuthousehenrescue.co.uk. So if you want to adopt a hen, I'm serious about this. A lot of people don't think this is real, but it is real. These people are devoting their lives to save hens out of a hen house, out of a battery hen farm. And indeed, I have to say that it's one of the wonderful things that you couldn't do anything better than that. And see how taken I am by this?
I think when I retire from this place of work,
Which may be very soon.
I think I would like to do something like that. Maybe go and
No,
help.
you won't.
I
You'll be
think
lying
I
in the
would-
house drinking.
No, I would like to go and help in one of those sort of animal shelters or something.
As Hugo once said, I want to put something back. Here's a gentleman writes to me and he said, my heartless wife left me yesterday. A terribly sad thing. She couldn't handle the fact that I'm an insomniac. I don't know how she sleeps at night. Look, you're no fun.
What do you want me to do? What's that? What's that?
It's a band called the Little Willies, and that's what their name is.
Along about 1825, I left Tennessee very much alive. And I never would have made it through the Arkansas mud if I hadn't been riding on the Tennessee stud. Had a little trouble with my sweetheart's pa. One of her brothers was a bad outlaw. I sent her a letter by my Uncle Fudd, and I rode away on the Tennessee stud. The Tennessee stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a horse like a Tennessee stud. Drifted on down into no man's land. We crossed that river called Rio Grande. I raced my horse with the Spaniards full till I got me a skin full of silver and gold. Now me and the gambler, we couldn't agree. We got in a fight over Tennessee. We jerked our guns and he fell with a thud, and I rode away on the Tennessee stud. Tennessee stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a horse like the Tennessee stud. On back across Arkansas, I whooped her brother and I whooped her pa. When I found that girl with the golden hair, she was riding that Tennessee mare. Now there's a little baby on the cabin floor, a little house called laying out the door. I love that girl with the golden hair, and the Tennessee stud was the Tennessee mare. Tennessee stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a horse like the Tennessee stud.
That's a song called Tennessee Stud. That's from a group called the Little Willies. You probably haven't heard of them, or maybe you have. That was sent to me by Roger and Sandra Lennox. Thank you very much. They sent that to me a little while ago, and I didn't really listen to it until yesterday. It's a supergroup, an American supergroup, featuring people that you probably haven't heard of, but what they are basically is some of the best singers and musicians in America. Led, of course, by Norah Jones. She's the girl there, and other guys whom you haven't heard of, but they're fantastic. You can tell how good they are just by having a little listen to that. I'll play a little track, maybe perhaps later on from that. Somebody on the line here. I hope this telephone will work. There's no guarantee. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
Oh, good. Excellent, thank you. What can we do for you today?
I want to ask you, Gerry, about the mid-70s, I was in Uri one day delivering beer to a bar.
Yeah.
And I went in, I heard this old guy was sitting playing the accordion in the bar. And right away, you knew, I said, you're the bartender, geez, your man's brilliant on that box, you know?
Yes.
He said to me, that's Jackie Hurst.
Jackie Hurst.
He
Yes.
says he came out of Belfast during the Blitz with a lorry and a family, and they stopped in Uri. He said he's played on Radio Erin and all then.
Yeah.
And a couple of years later, I was in a bar in New York, an Irish bar, and Butler he was on the jukebox.
On the
Brilliant
yeah.
accordionist.
Uh-huh.
Jackie Hurst, you called him.
I never heard of him now. Is he still with us, or is he
No,
passed?
I don't. He ended up, I think, playing around bars, no Meath. I was with an old Showband man yesterday, and he remembered him. Brilliant, he says he was.
Was he up around like Carlingford, places like that?
Yeah,
playing around
Meath,
there?
but he lived in Uri.
Uh-huh. Jackie Hurst.
Jackie Hurst, he played, the barman told me, he said he plays on Radio Erin, over the orchestra and all.
RTE, they call it now.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him now, but obviously he's some player. I don't know. Maybe somebody else would. Maybe
Somebody else may call in because he was a brilliant. As soon as I heard him in the bar, you know. But he ended up round the bars, a couple of pints, and round no Meath.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy yesterday, he knew it. He said, "Oh, he was brilliant."
I'll try and find out who that is. I'm always
Jackie
curious.
Hurst.
Yeah, obviously a man who never took the shilling. Just content enough to play around
That's
the pubs.
it.
Yeah,
Sit in the bars.
I like people like that.
Yeah.
All right then. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
See, I would have asked him who he was talking to. Because he mentioned he was talking to an old Showband man.
I know, but I'm not interested.
Yeah, why not?
Because I don't like old Showband men. Because they're all full of crap.
I have to say something.
Go ahead. Because I'm the same myself.
No,
What?
I have to. This pains me to say this, and
Go
I
ahead.
know I'm going to set.
No, go ahead. Say it. Go on, get it out. I know there's a lot of anger in you. St. Patrick's Day has made you angry. And I want you to use this as an opportunity to get this bile out. Go on.
I watched the program last night, and I realised that you're right, to a certain degree.
I'm glad you qualified that.
Yes.
You tell me.
Joe Dolan's awful.
Terrible, yes.
Joe Dolan.
See, you begin to realise that now.
I watched the program last night on Tina G and Joe
Just a
Dolan.
man squealing.
But is no stage presence or nothing?
No, nothing, no.
I said to myself, what's this about here?
And, I hope this doesn't sound as if we're speaking ill of the dead. But
no, but it's terrible. I don't like saying. I didn't like that realisation last night.
it was hard for you to get that out
And I
of you there.
sat and I turned it off.
I know, you see, this is what sometimes you're driven to.
What? Why doesn't Joe Dolan move about the stage? Why didn't he? Anyway.
See, what's going to happen to people, and I hope this will happen before people die, that people will reflect upon their heroes and then realise that maybe perhaps they had feet of clay after all. And this is good for the development of the human being. I mean, you can't go through all your life thinking that the people you thought were wonderful when you're 18 are still wonderful. You must have some kind of perspective and look back and make a value judgment, which is what you're beginning to do now. It's a little late for you.
I know, but
Good to see it happening.
But you were there in the heart of it. It was easy for you. You
I always
observed-
knew it was
you
crap.
You observed these people at first hand.
I
You see,
always
you
thought
were-
it was
you were-
bad.
You were part of the scene.
Only because there was money in it.
I know,
but I
but
never
you-
thought it had any value.
I said to myself, I didn't
I
like
know.
that on my wife's birthday too.
I know.
I'll never forget this day.
It's almost like God did it.
Oh, stop saying that.
It's almost as if God did
stop
it.
saying that.
God
No,
made you
don't,
realize.
don't,
God made you
don't.
realize that Joe Dolan was no good on your wife's birthday. How devious is that? What a devious saviour.
Stop it! You're
I'm
getting
no,
in
no,
trouble.
no. I'm
you're-
saying.
No, stop it! People will ring here and people will complain about you saying that.
Well,
now.
so
Stop
what?
it.
What else is different?
I know, but
Stop.
no, it was bad enough me discovering Joe Dolan.
It's not easy for you. I know. It's but you see these moments of truth.
But what
have to
what
be
I'm worried
savoured.
about? What I'm worried about? Will the
Yeah.
same thing happen with Dickie Rock?
Yes.
No, but
It will.
Dickie Rock's a good singer.
Yes, but you'll find. No, I'm not. I know what to think, but you have to find out for yourself. I know I know what to tell you about Dickie Rock, but you have to find out for yourself, right?
Yeah.
I'm not making any statements.
But I'm going to continue to play Joe Dolan on the Wee programme. I'm still going to play his music.
Yeah, do that.
Oh, yeah, I'm still going to do that. But I'm living in dread that someday I'll put on Dickie Rock or see him and say,
you'll see through him.
What's going on?
And there'll be no longer spitting me Dickie.
I hope that doesn't happen.
It's okay, but it's all ahead of you. A gentleman's inquiring after your finances here. Gerry, how did Sean escape the newspapers yesterday? If he doesn't spend anything, surely he must be worth more than Nolan. People are assuming that because you've said publicly that you don't spend any money.
I have
so
not.
I have
not.
Well, I have said it.
You've said it about me.
And you haven't denied it. A man has lost his mobile phone in William Street in Ballymena on Saturday night. It could well be linked with drink. It was HTC Wildfire phone, which I'm sure you know is a very expensive piece of kit entirely. Black in colour, in a pink case. That's Alan looking for that. Anyone who finds it. A lot of phones missing on Saturday night. It's part of the thing. Part of the thing. Hold on a second. I'm just looking at these.
I was talking to my wife the other day, and I expressed the desire to own a mobile phone.
Oh, you see, you're changing.
Aye.
You're changing. Would you please ask your audience if anyone has seen my missing dogs? They are little and large. Please see attached photograph. They got out of their pen on Wednesday the 9th of March in the Dromara area, and I haven't seen them since. They are great dogs, very friendly and approachable, and the best of friends. I miss them terribly. My number is here. That's from Andrea. Now, I'm just going to look at the photograph of the little dogs, see what they look like. Ach, look at them. Ach, look. I'd love to show you that, but I know you don't care. It's like a kind of an Alsatian, a big Alsatian, and then a little tiny, tiny dog with it. A little tiny dog, no taller than a bottle of milk. And they look like great friends too, because, opposites attract. I've always said that. I'm looking at some other emails here. It's important to get this message out. And Nigel Porter writes to me without any punctuation. I hope you're keeping well. Just a wee note. I want you to tell about a friend of mine. This friend of mine have been friends for 40 years. We worked together for a close relative of mine. We were in our teens in the building trade. One of the jobs we had was on Friday going to the local chip shop for the older men on the site. My friend was the most miserable person you could meet, wouldn't spend daylight, would wake up in the middle of the night to see if he'd lost any sleep. Anyway, one of the men on the site had ordered a fish, but when you got a fish on its own, you get chips for the fish. The girl in the chip shop knew as well. And my friend realised that the fish he was collecting would have even more chips than usual because she thought it was for him. So he opened up the wrapper and stole the chips. The workmate who had the fish opened up the fish and shouted, "Where's my chips?" and chased him down the road. It was funny at the time. My friend went on to do better things and has really done well for himself and is still tight with the money. It's important that I read that. Do you know what I mean? And here's another person who has lost stuff. Lost a Honda car key on a key ring, as well as at least 3 other keys lost in the vicinity of the Ulster Hall on Saturday. There was a seniors' tea dance taking place at the time that the keys were lost. Obviously, great excitement. You see, it's amazing how many people are contacting this programme today about things that have been lost on Saturday, which just goes to show you that, if drink is taken, personal property will go missing. Have you ever lost anything in the course of taking drink? Have you ever woke up in the morning after a night in the drink and discovered that you had lost something very, very precious?
No.
Have you not?
Once.
Yes, I did. Can I just say that?
A man took my golf jumper and left it behind a bar for me, and I forgot to collect it.
5 or 6 years ago, just
same
St. Patrick's Day, I woke up the next morning and I discovered I had lost my dignity the night before.
What?
I'd lost my dignity.
I'm not going to pursue this. I'd rather talk about my golfing jumper.
What about the news then?
All right.
We'll try the news.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
It's 11 o'clock, BBC News with Anne-Marie Foster. A gunman has shot dead 3 children and a teacher in a Jewish school in the southern French city of Toulouse. A 4th child is in a critical condition. The killer escaped on a black scooter. As Hugh Schofield reports, President Sarkozy is on his way to Toulouse.
Police say that the man acted with cold-blooded determination. After drawing up outside the school on a motorcycle, he opened fire indiscriminately on parents and children. Using a second gun, he then pursued the children inside the school. The dead children are aged 3, 6 and 10. Police say that there are clear similarities with last week's shootings in Toulouse and the nearby town of Montauban, in which 3 soldiers were killed also by a lone gunman on a motorcycle, though the motives for all 3 incidents remain completely obscure.
A man has handed over a sum of money after being kidnapped in West Belfast early this morning. He was approached by 2 men as he drove along Norglen Road. They ordered the driver to return to his work on the Falls Road and hand over cash. The man wasn't injured but was left badly shaken. A car believed to be involved was found burnt out. The UK's entry at the Eurovision Song Contest has just been released.
If you love someone, follow your heart. 'Cause love comes once, if you're lucky enough. Though I'll miss you forever, the hurt will run deep. Only love can set you free.
Singing the ballad Love Will Set You Free at the contest in Azerbaijan is the veteran 75-year-old singer Engelbert Humperdinck. He'll hope to improve on last year's result when the boy band Blue came 11th. Sport now with Joel Taggart.
You wouldn't bet on it, would you? Celtic have offered their condolences to the family of Kilmarnock midfielder Liam Kelly after his father died at the end of yesterday's League Cup final. He suffered a suspected heart attack at Hampden Park. It's a big day of schools finals with St Michael's Enniskillen taking on St Patrick's Mahara in the McCrory Cup final, the first time they've met in the decider. Then it's the Rugby Schools Cup final at Ravenhill, Methody up against Ballyclare High School, and both the games are live on BBC Two this afternoon from 1 o'clock. The Belfast Schools Cup final in football at Ballyskay is kicking off around now. Our Lady and St Pat's taking on St Malachy's. And in golf, Rory McIlroy has been knocked off top spot in the world rankings. Luke Donald reclaimed number 1 last night with a playoff win at the Transition Championship in Florida.
Thanks, Joel. The weather forecast now with Barra Best.
Cloud will thicken up during the day, blocking any real signs of brighter or sunnier weather. Winds will get a little stronger too as temperatures climb to around 11 degrees generally. By mid-afternoon, it'll become a little unsettled, mainly in the west with outbreaks of patchy rain. It will become drier overnight though, and it won't be as cold as the cloud hangs over us. Lows typically will be around 9 degrees.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
In Armagh, a number of roads have been closed because of a security alert close to Navan Fort. The Killylay Road is closed between Ballycrummy Road and Baltarran Road. The Navan Fort Road is closed between Ballycrummy Road and Ballyhoy Road, and the Ballyrath and Baltarran roads have also been closed. Diversions are in place, but motorists should avoid the area. And looking at public transport, Northern Ireland Railways are operating on a Saturday timetable today, but Gold Line, Ulster Bus and Metro services are running as normal. Aileen Morna reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, should public sector pay be cut in poorer parts of the UK? The Chancellor wants to bring civil servants' pay packets into line with the private sector, but how much would workers in Northern Ireland lose out? Footballer Fabrice Muamba fighting for his life after suffering a cardiac arrest on the pitch. We speak to the mother of GAA's Cormac McAnallen. Also today, David Cameron says private companies should take over the running of some public roads in England. Should it happen here too? Would you pay a toll to drive on a better road? And the Olympic torch coming to a town near you? Call me if you're carrying it and join the debate on Talkback at 12.
Thank you, Andy. A third of the people in Northern Ireland work for the public sector and the rest are on the DLA. What about the rest of us? Did you hear that little track from Engelbert Humperdinck?
Yeah.
Now they're airing their smell.
I know.
Did you like it?
I didn't hear nothing.
Could you repeat any part of it?
Did you see the Russian entry?
No.
I think it's the Russian. It's all we grannies.
You mean we grannies?
They're right. Ladies with what do you say? They'd be about between 72 and 86.
Oh, real little grannies.
Real grannies, yes, representing. Yeah.
All singing.
Singing and
singing
dancing.
Grannies.
Singing, yeah.
Well, it's different, isn't it?
I know. I think that'll probably win it. I'd not be surprised.
There we go. Look, there's another thing lost at Saturday. A black iPhone lost in Downpatrick on Saturday afternoon in the home of St Patrick. In maybe the St Patrick Centre, at the Bouncy Castle, or around Denver's Hotel. Phones disappearing like snow off a roof. It's an incredible...
Do you remember climbing on Humperdinck's wall?
You'll have to explain that.
No, I'll just say that to you again. Do you remember climbing on Humperdinck's wall?
I don't know what that means.
Do you not?
No, you'll have to explain that.
All right then.
You mean Engelbert Humperdinck? Or
Yes.
is there a Humperdinck?
No.
Another Humperdinck?
When you and I were on a tour of Beverly Hills, I told you my Engelbert Humperdinck story.
Oh, we climbed up his wall.
We climbed his wall and we shouted, and Gerry, we're calling him Gerry Dorsey. We were shouting, and he wouldn't come out.
Yeah, we looked over his wall.
It's a big pink house.
He owned the house that used to belong to Jane Mansfield.
And it's painted pink.
And he had a big heart-shaped pool.
That's
That was
right. And
him,
we climbed up on the wall and we were shouting at him and he wouldn't come out. And the other side of the street, Jimmy Stewart was out looking at his roses. Do you remember?
We shouldn't put a stop to that. Yeah. You know, I think we were louts. Here's one of our best songwriters, in my opinion. His name is Best Boy Grip. His name is Owen O'Callaghan. This is his new single, which is called Russian Roulette.
Nothing like Russian roulette. I burned Paul with a cigarette. Was a cynical burn. This ain't nothing like Russian roulette. I got time and I got regret, and I'll sink alone. Now give me the photograph. Oh, Paul came round, took a look at my car. Paul's in the ground 'cause he took it too far. Now give me the photograph. Oh, hey, don't work alone. It's easy for you just to ask me to let it go. Ain't nothing like Russian roulette. You live your life with a safety net, then you sink alone. This ain't nothing like Russian roulette. Got my shot lined up and I think I'm all set to go. Now give me the photograph. Oh, can't you see what you're doing? Can't you look at my life? Get yourself in trouble if you look at my wife. Now give me the photograph. Oh, hey, don't work alone. It's easy for you just to ask me to let it go. I've been given a job from above, and I do it for you, and I do it for love, and I do it from the heart, and I do it alone. I've been given a job from above, and I do it for you, and I do it for love, and I do it from the heart, and I do it alone. 'Cause you're the only love that I've ever known. Now give me the photograph. Give me the photograph. Hey, don't work alone. It's easy for you just to ask me to let it go. Ain't nothing like Russian roulette. I burned Paul with a cigarette. It was a cynical burn. This ain't nothing like Russian roulette. Gave Paul a lesson he'll never forget. I've been given a job from above, and I do it for you, and I do it for love, and I do it from the heart, and I do it alone. I've been given a job from above, and I do it for you, and I do it for love, and I do it from the heart, and I do it alone. 'Cause you're the only love that I've ever known. Yeah, I do it from the heart, and I do it alone.
I was running through the summer rain, waiting for the evening train to kill that old familiar pain, weaving through my tangled brain, when I tipped my bottle back, smacked into a cop I didn't see. That policeman said, Mr. Cool, if you ain't drunk, then you're a fool. I said, if that's against the law, tell me why I never saw no man locked in this jail of yours wasn't just as low down poor as me. And that's just when someone turned out the lights. Yes, and I wound up in jail to spend the night, and to dream of all the wine and lonely girls in this best of all possible worlds. Next morning woke up feeling like my head was really gone, and like my thick old tongue was licking something sick and wrong. I said I'd sell my soul for something about as wet and cold as this old cell. That kind of jailer looked at me, all eaten up with sympathy, then poured himself another beer. Came and whispered in my ear, if booze was just a dime a bottle, boy, you couldn't even buy the smell. I said I knew there's something I liked about this town. Oh, but it'll take more than that to bring me down. 'Cause there's still a lot of wine and lonely girls in this best of all possible worlds. Set me free, and I'd be leaving town if I knew what was good for me. I said it's nice to learn that everybody's so concerned about my health, but I won't be leaving no more quicker than I can. And I've enjoyed about as much of this as I can stand. And I don't need this town of yours no more than I ever needed nothing else. 'Cause there's still a lot of drinks that I ain't drunk. Yes, and lots of pretty thoughts that I ain't thunk. Oh yeah, there's still a lot of wine and lonely girls in this best of all possible worlds. In this best of all possible worlds. In this best of all possible worlds.
That's the Little Willies again, and that's a track called The Best of All Possible Worlds. That's an old song written by Chris Christopherson, of course. And before that was a great track from Best Boy Group, Ian O'Callaghan, which is called Russian Roulette. What a genius that guy is. A gentleman writes to me, and here's a point. He said, the hens you're talking about rescuing sounds as if they are free, but a charge is incurred by the way of a donation. For £2 more than £4, you could purchase a much younger bird without any health issues. But that's not the point. The point is you don't want a hen. You're saving the hens, especially the ones that are ill. They're ill when you get them because they're ill, because they've been in a darkened room for all their lives. So they're not healthy when they come out. So the idea that every bird you have does have a health issue, but they'll be okay if you look after them and put them out in the sunshine. They'll be fine after 4 or 5 weeks. That's the way it works. That's not the point. You don't want if you want a healthy hen, get one in the pet shop.
Ada.
Can't you hear me talking about human life here in the form of a hen?
You reached for your fader.
I did not reach for my fader.
And I thought, he's away to music.
He's not. How would I go to music?
Ada from Ballycastle.
Yes.
Rings to ask you, do you know what a warrener is? W-A-R-R-E-N-E-R.
I really don't. Is that somebody who catches rabbits?
No, but it's good.
I don't know.
Not bad. No.
I have no idea.
She was quite confident you would know.
A warrener?
Yeah.
Well, did she tell you what it meant?
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Maybe,
you're not a million miles away.
A hair courser?
Yeah, no. No, well,
a digger? A person
wider
digs?
than that. Wider than
Wider?
Wider than
An elephant hunter?
No.
Tell me.
A gamekeeper.
Well, close.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
bad.
knew it was something to do with
animals.
animals.
It wasn't bad.
Gentleman writes to me and he gives me some dialogue from a movie which I saw one time, which I thought was excellent. Did you ever see a movie called Open Range? Kevin Costner.
Reminds me of your late father. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about
but
that.
it wasn't about
but
fireplaces.
No.
It wasn't about ranges.
Was it
Open
not?
range, as in home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play. I was he's obviously referring earlier on, but I blame God for that, your wife. So he says, here's a bit of dialogue from Open Range from the character of Charlie. It's a very good film, that. Did you never see it, really?
No.
It's very, very good. And poor Kevin Costner had a very bad press around about the time he was making, remember that film about the water and everything? And he never got any credit for this movie. Here's a bit of dialogue from it. This is a gentleman, Kevin Costner, Charlie's the character. He's standing at the graveside farewell following the murder of his fellow free-ranging cattle hand called Mo. And he says, well, Lord, the way I sees it, you've allowed this fine young man, Mo, to be taken away from us in his prime. And for that, I guess I do bear a grudge against you. And that is, I suppose, amen. And he says, did you ever meet any real cowboys? Yes, I did, as a matter of fact. I went on the most wonderful ride with a gentleman who was a cowboy, a real cowboy, It was in Arizona.
Yes.
And I went along and I had a little horse.
Yeah.
It's a little smaller than his because I've got little tiny legs. And he took me for a ride across basically the desert. But it wasn't really desert. It was kind of, it was littered by all kinds of different things. It was the range, I suppose.
Like
but
hotels?
No, it was in the countryside, Sean.
Well, we're littered by what?
Rocks.
Oh, okay.
Why must you be so critical?
I'm not being critical. You said it was littered by various things. I said, what's littered by what?
For instance, now there was a big rock there.
Okay.
And he came along and he said,
"It's a big rock there."
No, but there's more than that. If you'd let me finish.
Right.
He said, "See that rock there?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Have a look at that carefully." I looked at it. No, it was pockmarked by little holes.
Right.
You see them holes, boy? I said, "Yeah, them was made by Indians. They used to grind their corn there for 2,000 years." I says, "Where are they now?" He said, "We killed them all."
Where are they now?
That's what I said to him. Where are they now?
I know, but 2,000 years.
I just wanted to hear what he said. No, for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
And although it was up until about 100 years ago, they were still doing it. And a white man came and killed them all. But he said a great thing. We were riding along, you see, and
was that on TV?
Yeah, but not all of it. The best parts weren't. He was riding along, you see, and I'm riding behind him. He's going.
He was doing that?
No, that's the horse.
Oh, horse was doing that. Intelligent horse.
Yeah, it was picking its teeth. There's boys or some oats in there or something. No, here. You see, you must always belittle everything.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you're just making fun of me.
Not.
I'm trying to impart something important to you. I'm riding along. This is the difference between the sensibilities of cowboys and a person like myself.
It's unusual that a horse would make a noise in the desert.
Yeah. So I'm looking around me, seeing it was right about spring. And did you ever see a saguaro cactus?
No.
Yes,
tell me
you
what
did.
it is. Well, tell me what it is. Is that the
Don't be jumping down my throat.
No, tell me. Is that
the one with his hands
out? Yeah.
Well, you see,
what do you call it again?
Saguaro cactus.
No.
You're going to look it up, are you? Make sure it's right.
No.
Right,
no,
so what happens is, the strangest thing happens. In the spring, they actually flower. Do you know they flower? But do you know where they flower?
At the very top?
The top of their heads.
Yeah.
And they look like little old women of the 1920s with them little flower hats. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It's only one flower, isn't it?
Oh, no, there's a couple of them.
Right.
Yeah, but they only flower once a year.
That's what it
and
is.
they stand there with a little flower hat on top of their head. And it's so funny. But anyway, that's not the point. It was round about the spring, and I didn't say anything because there were no saguaro cactuses there, because that was a different trip. Anyway, we're going along, you see, and there's a bit of vegetation.
Excuse me, you see the cactus, is it true the cowboys got water from them?
Yes, they did.
So
yeah, they could slit them in a certain way and get a little moisture out of them.
Right.
Anyway, we're riding along. And I look around and I see a little kind of clump of, nice colourful little yellow and red, actually. Kind of like a little vegetation, like flowers,
Mm-hmm.
I went, oh, look at that. He says, what is that? I said, look at those nice flowers. He says, them's just weeds.
Weeds?
Weeds. Yeah. He says, them's just weeds. So I knew not to say anything to him. And I met this other guy,
I don't know. What's the point of that?
The point is that what I thought were beautiful flowers, he just says, them's just weeds.
Oh, right.
In other words, what's wrong with you?
Silly little boy.
Little city slicker. It's like Jack Palance and what do you call the other film, that movie, City Slickers. Anyway, it was like that. But then I met this other guy, talking about real cowboys. He was a real cowboy, but I didn't like him at all because he was very bolshy, and very, like a guy would shoot you, But I met this other guy, this Texas Ranger, and he was about 70. And he was mad. And he brought out his gun. I said, this gun's loaded. This gun's loaded. I said, is it really? He says, I got a dum-dum bullet in there. I said, got a dum-dum bullet? And I knew what a dum-dum bullet was. So what do you want a dum-dum bullet was? If I shoot Buddy, I don't want that bullet going through his body and killing somebody else. That'll be my fault then. You see? And I said, what? And he talked, we were in a place, I can't remember the name of the place now, but it'll come to me. And he said, see that saloon down there? I looked in the corner. It wasn't a saloon at all. It was a bar, but he called it a saloon. Do you know who died in there? I said, I don't know who died. He said, Wyatt Earp's brother. I said, really? What a term. And he said, you see that store over there?
It was killed?
Yeah, he was shot there. And he said, And there was a store there called Wilton's Commercial. I said, see that Wilton's Commercial? Geronimo used to shop there. He was telling me all this stuff, and he'd take his gun out and he'd say, I'm calling you out. Why am I telling you all this when you don't care?
I do.
You don't care.
I do.
Please play a cool track for John Darcy, a fine singer and a guest in this programme. Jackie, his mum, Jackie. She's currently in Lanzarote on a wee break. I might go there myself soon. Muchas gracias, mi amigo. If you've got Barcelona by John Darcy handy, that would be great. No, I don't have that, actually. Hi, Gerry. These are text messages. I think I should pay attention to them because people go to the trouble of texting them. And, I usually just throw them away. Could you please play Scary Vor, the Angry Fiddler? I've never heard that. It's an amazing wee tune. I think you might like it. That's from Chris Armstrong in Newton Abbey. Thank you for the recommendation, Chris. I shall check it out. A wee bit of Paul Murphy, please. I will play some Paul Murphy later on during the week, but I can't do it today. Dear Gerry, Tipperary is a pub in London. It was the origin of the song. It's a long, long way to Tipperary. Did you know that? It was a pub, apparently, where the people drank, an old established pub where Irish people drank and whatever they drank around about the time before they went to the trenches. And the song, It's a Long, Long Way to Tipperary. It wasn't about Tipperary. It was a long, long way to Tipperary where they had their last drink. It was all about, thought you would have known that. Well, I did know that, but I'd forgotten it.
No.
Many of the things I do know.
I don't think you're quite right.
All right, then, do you want to...
No, I'm trying to recall. There was a whole article in the paper about it there not so long ago. It's because they celebrated the 100 years of the song or something. What are you doing that for?
That was blowing me nose. Because you're talking.
So it means shut up?
No, it doesn't mean that. It means that my nose needed attention.
All right, then.
It's no criticism what you're saying. Why don't you Google that and see who's right? Gerry, could you please... Gerry, could you please...
What to do with a bet?
Gerry, could you...
Sorry.
Gerry, could you please read it? Why don't you find out instead of speculating?
Because I'm trying to remember what
why not? Why try to remember? People don't have to remember anything anymore now that we have Google. You don't have to remember things. You just log into Google and you find out. And if it's right, you'll remember it when you see it. You don't have to sit and go, oh, I wonder is that. Those days are gone. No, people used to sit and think. People don't do that anymore.
See, I'd like that.
Google that.
No, I'd like that.
No, but you're always wrong, though. Please, could you read
because
out...
I know there's something in there that's going round and round and round and won't stop and won't come out. But it will eventually slow down and it will eventually come out.
Well, why don't you just Google it and save all the trouble? Gerry, could you please read out the number where I can apply for some of those battery hands? I don't have a number, I don't think. Do you have a number in there?
For what?
For battery hands.
Oh, no. I think Emma has.
Emma, will you let me know what that is and I'll let these people know. Jackie Hurst, a gentleman came on the phone earlier on and he said about a gentleman playing the accordion in Newry. Jackie Hurst, a legend. He used to broadcast in RTE, put Jimmy Shand to shame. Jackie Hurst lived beside me in Newry and died about 10 years ago. He had a Cady band and was an accomplished accordionist right to his demise. The demon drink did affect his latter years and an ill-fitting wig did little for his street cred, but he was a real gentleman and is sadly missed. He was a man who enjoyed a drink and a good wig and was a legend. Gerry, you're as full as a shook, legless, one Sean... I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. Sean Coyle, you've gone down big time in my estimation. Joe Dolan was the greatest. No one will ever replace him. You should have been at the reunion festival in Mullingar 2001. You'd have seen how great Joe was. But was he not dead then?
I don't know.
Shame on you both, says Maggie, which seems to be the general...
See, I have fond memories of Joe Dolan at the dances and thinking, and seeing Joe perform on the stage, and it was great then at the Showbands. But when I watched him last night, I said to myself, it's all changed.
Feet of clay, feet of clay.
There's a call.
Is that recording? Love it. Yeah.
Why don't you come round? We can talk about the rain.
That's a great voice. That's Brianna Corrigan. Sounds vaguely kind of African, that, doesn't it? Brianna Corrigan, of course, is from Northern Ireland, and she was very famous a while back. Wasn't she with the Beautiful South? Was that it? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. That was very quick. She was with the Beautiful South, but then she's been quiet for a while, but now she's got a wonderful album out now, which is called Red Bird, and she's going to come in and sing a few songs in studio in a couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to seeing her. And some messages here. Can I please use your show, says Eamon Neeson, to thank all those who contributed to the Trucker fundraising event in Newry on St Patrick's Day. We collected a total of £320. This means that a total of £640 was achieved, as the UK government has agreed to match contributions pound by pound this year. Good old government. Wonderful, wonderful. Let me see now. I'm just looking at these things.
There's a wee call for you, you know.
Do you know something?
Yes.
I swear these machines, everything's all stupid. Oh, well, no, it's this machine here. If sometimes it just takes a note and it won't show you anything. I used to have a machine here used to show you stuff, but then they threw that away. So the machine now that makes you not show stuff, they put in a machine now that doesn't show you stuff after throwing the machine away that did show you stuff.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking to myself.
Obviously.
Did you understand
Listen,
that?
talking about talking to yourself.
Yeah.
What were you doing in a car park over the weekend?
What do you mean?
A man was watching you.
What do you mean a man was watching me? In a car park at the weekend? Was I on my own?
Yes, you're all
Thank
right.
God for that.
You're all right.
What was I doing?
Apparently you were sitting singing to yourself.
I do that all the time. There's probably something on the radio.
People were sitting watching you. You're having this great sing-along.
That's none of their business what I was doing in
It
my
is.
own car.
No, if a man's sitting in a car, roaring his head off, and somebody sitting beside you, look and say, "What's he at?"
But wait, it's none of their business what I do in my own car.
The man's not saying anything about it. Just said, did you enjoy your wee sing-along with yourself?
Well, how does he know I was singing to myself? I might have been talking to myself. Did he hear the music? I may have been having a discussion of very important.
All right.
Yeah, I may have been talking to myself. I do that all the time.
Hey, Gerry, did you enjoy that wee sing-song to yourself in Sainsbury's yesterday?
Oh, Sainsbury's.
So there, that's what it says.
I know what he... No, hold on a minute. Sainsbury's yesterday, I wasn't in a car.
Oh, so were you in the store? You standing in the store singing?
No, I was sitting outside on the bench.
Did you get any money?
Yeah, I got three and fourpence. Gerry, could you please play a wee song I bet you haven't heard for a while? I'm going to pass this to you. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. For hockey, the Donegal Celtic kit man who celebrated his surprise 50th birthday last night in the club. He cried all night with laughter at JR and D Bubble, two of the best upcoming comedians starting out in the local circuit after doing well in Dublin and Ireland. Thanks, mate, for all in Cocoon Corner encasement. There we are. I understand none of that, but obviously it makes sense to some people. Have you got... is there someone on the phone,
Yes.
did you say? Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Yes, hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. What can we do for you today?
Well, listen, there seems to be a bit of a theme running through the programme today again. It keeps going back to drink.
Well, you see, I think it's appropriate now that many people are lying in the throes of evil drink over the past 2 or 3 days. I've seen these people. There are people lying in bed today at this moment who cannot face the prospect of getting up after having drunk for 3. Do you know what I saw? I saw a great thing. Excuse me a second. Yes. I saw a great thing. It just goes to show you, I have a feeling people don't understand students, you know. Do you know the way that people, I think it was Queens or somebody, gave the students the Friday off?
Right.
You know the Friday off?
Yes.
So that they would go home?
Yeah.
They don't understand students at all. Do you know, I realised that. I was on the bus, actually, going to Belfast on Thursday, right, from here.
Yes.
You know, it's the only way you go. The quickest way to get between the two capital cities in Northern Ireland is a bus. You know, think about it. It's unbelievable. Because the train takes you 3 hours. And, you know, anyway.
You keep saying that.
Do you not think it's ridiculous, the two cities?
I would love to know how long the train journey takes.
It takes 2 hours and 40 minutes, something like that. Almost 3 hours, yeah. Because the tracks are the wrong shape for the train.
See, the bus is nearly 2 hours now.
The bus is an hour and 40 minutes.
No, it's 2 hours.
Listen, Sean, it's an hour and 40 minutes.
No.
I'm on it all the time. It's an hour and 50 at top. I on it all the time. Anyway.
From depot to depot, it's 2 hours.
It's not.
I'm telling you.
Let me just say to you, I was on the bus, right? And it was full of students going going to Belfast. Do you know what happened? They probably on a Wednesday they probably said, "Cheers, boys. There's 3 days drinking here. There's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Great." So they're way back to Martha and all. They get to change the jockeys and to get fired up, get a bite to eat. And they're all coming back for the drink. But it all passed off peaceful apparently. But people don't understand students at all, do they? They say, "Oh, that'll give them a day off." Can you imagine students saying, "Oh, that's great. Oh, they're off on a Friday, and St. Patrick's Day on a Saturday. Oh, that's great. That means I can go home and have a relaxing 3 days in Resharkin." They don't say that. They say, "Right, get her going." Anyway, this man. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Yes.
Well, I have a wee story for you. It's titled "Drink." It's written in poem form.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'll read it to you, will I?
Okay, please do. What was it? Why did you pen this? Any particular driving reason?
No, I woke up with a sore head one morning and just thought about it.
You decided to put your thoughts down?
Yeah, here you go.
All right.
Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Right, drink is a disease that dilutes and deludes, puts all kinds of people in all sorts of moods. It ruins relationships, weakens body and mind. It's brewed by the devil with evil underlined. It was nearing dawn when I yielded a yawn, and my body sank into the bed. I'd been up half the night, looked a terrible sight. You'd say I'd resemble the dead. I'd been drinking again with barrel-bellied men whose intentions were there from the start. They would sup to saturation, solve the problems of the nation, and lighten the load on their heart. The night began with a bottle or can, maybe a nip of the brew, then out to the pub. With the help of a sub, we'd be supping the whole night through. Most people were happy, a couple were yappy, but one was strangely morose. But after a while, with the drink came the smile, and the talk became verbose. Some nearby girls wearing diamonds and pearls were a gem of a sight to behold. But one stood out, ruby lips and a pout, with a stare that was angry and cold. Now, as it turned out, the reason for the pout was sitting not far away. It was Mr. Morose, whose behaviour was gross, as he stood up and started to sway. The young lady rose, adopted a pose with her hands firmly clamped to her hips. The young man caught sight, realised his plight, and headed from his pouty lips. He weaved and he stumbled, tried to speak but just mumbled, altogether a pitiful sight. His mates laughed and chuckled as a poor man's knees buckled, and he crumbled to ankle height. His girlfriend of old remarked with a scold, "You said you'd finish with drink." She picked up her purse, was tempted to curse, but pulled herself back from the brink. Now the man on the floor was ready to snore, but made one more effort to speak. I thought I had canned it, but I just couldn't stand it, especially with your ugly beak. Panic broke out when the girl with the pipe produced a stun grenade. The guy on the floor crawled for the door when he realised the mistake he had made. Just before the bang, a telephone rang, and I rose from the bed with a start. It was one of my dreams, and the message it seems is that me and the drink should part.
Very good.
That's it, Gerry.
Excellent touch of the old Robert service about you there. That's very good. Thank you very much.
Okay, Gerry.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. One of the things I think that, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but I witnessed some amazing superhuman feats of strength on particularly Friday and Saturday. You wouldn't see this because you don't be in our local supermarkets. I mentioned the fact that I was in Sainsbury's and I saw men carrying so much drink that you didn't think it possible. It was like strongman. I saw one guy and he had at least 300 cans of lager. And he was carrying them and he was bent over double. And I remember saying to myself, he's going to try and drink all that. Men carrying, do you ever see men carrying so many piles of drink? Just they never put them on the trolley. That's because they don't trust the trolley. They want to feel it in their hands. They're all walking out. You ever notice men never put drink in a trolley? Never. It's like the way people, when they're handing back a DVD, they always run in. Nobody ever walks in. There's certain modes of behaviour, and we can't explain them, but it's something buried deep in the male psyche. Never put your drink in the trolley, because it's not a man's way. Is there someone else here?
Just to clarify the trains, by the way. I was talking to Colin there. Colin's a train driver.
Yeah.
And he said that it takes 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, he would say that, wouldn't he?
No, and the trains, Belfast, Derry to Belfast, up to Yorkgate, as far as Yorkgate, 2 hours. And to travel on into Europa, 2 hours and 20 minutes.
That's news to me.
Yeah, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
I must try it. I'm going to try it sometime. I'm going to get it.
Yes, so there you
All
are.
right,
So give the train a try. That's a good slogan, isn't it?
Give the train a try.
Give the train a try.
Hey, you know it makes sense. Radio Ulster for all your broadcasting needs, but give the train a try.
Give the train a try.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes,
Is
hello.
that Gerry?
Yes, it is.
Gerry, I was just listening to your programme about losing things.
Yes.
I was up at town in Derry on Saturday afternoon after the parade.
Yes.
And this is a true story. I've lost my bottom teeth.
You've lost your bottom teeth. How did you manage to do that?
I only got them on Friday, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Only got them from a dentist on Friday.
Oh, you hadn't? They weren't in your actual mouth, were they?
No, they weren't actually in my actual mouth. They were in my mouth and they were giving me pain.
Uh-huh.
So I took them out and put them in my pocket amongst other things.
Mm-hmm.
I must have went in my pocket a couple of times and pulled them out by mistake.
I have to say this to you, and I hope you won't be offended. Was drink a factor?
No, there was no drink factor at all.
That's all right. Just
get that out.
Get that out of the way. Now, what do you think of?
It was after the parade, and we were walking around the stalls, whatnot, and that's when I lost them.
And your bottom teeth weren't wrapped in anything. They were
they weren't. No, I hadn't got a wee hanky or anything on me. No.
No. So, in other words, a person walking along who chances upon your teeth will just see the teeth lying there, basically, on the street, if that is the case. And can I just suggest that if you were walking along and you saw a pair of dentures lying on the street, would you lift it? Well, would you?
No, I wouldn't pick it up at all, Gerry, no.
See, that's what you're up against, you see. Nobody would lift. Not that there's anything wrong with your personal hygiene. Let me get that out of the way. But if you were walking along the street and you saw a bottom set of gnashers lying on the pavement, it would be the brave man who'd pick them up.
I would be a brave man. Yes, I went down to the town after the parade and whatnot, and I asked the cleaners, did they find any?
Mm-hmm.
They said they didn't, no. They've got them wee things that lift things up. They don't have to touch them.
Let me just get a little opinion amongst the people who, as they say, work on this program.
Yes.
Mr. Coy, would you lift a pair of teeth, which are obviously lost by a man, if you saw them in the street, would you?
No.
A set of teeth?
No.
Janet? No, it's not Janet. Emma, would you?
Emma,
would you?
No.
You see, there we are. That's 2 out of 2 wouldn't do it.
I would sort of.
What would you do?
No,
I would kick them.
I wouldn't kick. I would kick them to one side.
Yeah, I would try and score a goal with them.
No,
I'd try and kick them into an open door. See if I could do it. See if I still have the old magic.
But so they're brave and new now. They're only one day old, so they'll be brave and clean.
I know, but you see, a person doesn't examine them all that closely. You see, they may well be day-old teeth, but when you see those gnashers lying there, the last thing that occurs to you is, I wonder how old they are. You're not going to get near them. But here, this is a genuine, you're not winding me up or anything.
No,
I believe you.
I have to go back to the dentist tomorrow again and explain my actions over the weekend.
I can tell by the way you're talking that you're missing something.
I'm missing a few. Do you want me to describe them?
Yes, please do.
Well, there's teeth on each side and there's no teeth at the front. I've got my own teeth at the front. It's just the teeth at the sides. So if anybody sees any dentures,
it's not
teeth at the sides and fur at the front.
So it's not a full set?
No, it's not a full set. No.
You see, may I put it to you that would look even more weird? I mean, if I'm walking along the street and I see a jawline with 4 or 5 teeth on it and some missing, I'm certainly not going to get near it.
You have to ask this man the
Go
question.
on, ask him.
Right now, you're asking, would we lift them?
Mm-hmm.
If he gets the teeth back, is he prepared to wear them?
Well, that was the next question.
Oh, yes, I would get them sterilised and wear them again.
Then just get them sterilised and wear them again, of course, yeah. Of course, you never know where they've been. But, with a good kettle of boiling water would see off any germs. Anyway, listen, we put the call out now, and anyone who's got those teeth in their pocket decided to put them in their pocket, or they'd wrap them up in a hanky or kick them through somebody's doorway, and somebody opened their door and saw teeth clinging to their door, maybe perhaps you'd keep them and keep this gentleman in mind and let us know. Give us a ring at 08459 555 678. I hope you and your teeth are united shortly.
I hope so too, Gerry. Thanks very much.
Not at all, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
That's a first.
Yeah.
That's a first. You see, the longer you sit in here, you think you've seen everything, you've heard everything, and then a man comes along and his teeth are lying in the street. There's a lot of people's teeth lie in the street in Derry, but it's not because they lost them. Listen, before I go any further, somebody sent me a lovely letter and asked me to play Love and Happiness, that song, and I'd lost the letter, and I think it was for today. So if the person who sent me that letter will forgive me. I'm going to play this anyway. I'm sorry I don't know the name of the person this is for. Maybe you could give us a ring if you like.
Here's a wishing well. Here's a penny for any thought it is that makes you smile. Every diamond dream, everything that brings love and happiness to your life.
Here's a rabbit's foot. Take it when you go, so you'll always know you're safe from harm. Wear your ruby shoes when you're far away, so you'll always stay home in your heart.
You'll always have a lucky star
That shines
because of what you are, even in the deepest dark, because your aim is true. And if I could only have one wish, darling, then it would be this: love and happiness for you. Here's a spinning wheel. Use it once you've learned. There's a way to turn the straw to gold. Here's a rosary. Count on every beat with a prayer to keep the hope you hold. You'll always have a lucky star that shines because of what you are, even in the deepest dark, because your aim is true. And if I could only have one wish, darling, then it would be love and happiness for you. And if I could only have one wish, darling, then it would be love and happiness for you.
That's Mark Knopfler and Emmylou Harris. That's a song called Love and Happiness, originally recorded by Kimmy Rhodes and Willie Nelson. Kimmy Rhodes, who wrote that. I don't have that version. You have that version of that,
Yes,
don't you?
yes.
Why do you not give it to me?
Because you gave it to me.
I know, but why don't you give it back?
But
Now
you
that I
gave
can-
it to me. You said, I'm fed up playing that now. You
That's
said,
right,
You,
yeah,
s- you,
that's right.
you said it'll suit the wee show.
I know, nobody's listening.
Yeah.
So that's Mark Knopfler and Emmylou Harris, an album called All the Road Running, which was out some time ago.
Listen,
Gentleman
sorry,
writes...
friend. Sorry for interrupting, but this is...
What am I doing in here? What are you doing in here?
When do you hear this?
She's in here.
This is a coincidence.
What?
You know the man who you talked to there who lost his teeth?
Yes.
A lady phoned up there to say that she spotted them and she knows and knows where they are.
Really?
Do you know where they are? This is amazing. Know
Where?
they are?
Where?
Outside your old house.
You're not serious.
Yeah.
Outside my house, I was born by the Provost.
Outside your house in Sackville, so between your house and the bank in the corner.
Yes, the Bank of Ireland.
The-
It's a street called Sackville Street in
Yes,
Derry, Stoke Londonderry. That's the
teeth-
street I was born in.
Your teeth are there.
They're outside my house. So the gentleman, your teeth are outside my house, and I'm correct in assuming that you didn't want to lift them.
Yes, no,
But that's where they are.
Yeah.
See, some dog will get them.
But it's not amazing that they're outside your house.
They're probably still. Yeah, what a coincidence. I mean, how many times would you ring up a broadcaster and say you lost your teeth and they found the line outside his old house,
Yes.
which was bound by the Provost?
Yes.
Anyway, gentleman writes, so there we are. Gentleman, get down there right away and sniffle about, see if you
Yeah.
can find your teeth. Number 15. They're at number 15 Sackville Street.
There's a wee call for you.
I know. A gentleman said, here's an unusual story. He said, I was on holiday in Canada last summer, and I was staying in a hotel and at the pool, and a little child, not a child, but a small boy, was seemingly having a little difficulty in the water, so I dived in and I just kind of helped him. Didn't save his life, but, kind of, helped him. Turned out his father came along, and the fellow told him about it, and his father was a millionaire, and he said he's going to give him 3 wishes. He said, so I said, I wished I was somewhere warmer. And he said, no problem. So he flew me to Florida. And I said, I wished I had a nice house, clothes, stuff like that. He said, no problem. So he got an 8-bedroom house, a sports car, and 100 acres of land. And third, he said, could he arrange it? I asked him, could he arrange it that I'd never have to work again? He said, no problem. I'll fly you back to Ireland.
Spoils. No, there's no punchline.
That's the punchline. I'll fly you back to Ireland. He didn't never work again. You're no fun. I remember you used to be fun.
There's a man.
Do you know
for
what
you.
happens to you people? Look at Nolan. Nolan's
Nolan's
turned into
not.
this money-grabbing Nolan. He used to be he was full of fire. Now he's talking about his mammy and collecting money. And he won't talk about anything. And you're the same. What
I'm
happens
not.
to BBC does this to people? Turns you into pussies. There's no fun anymore. He's no fun anymore. I'm the only one that's any fun anymore. I can't find anybody to play with.
And you can't put teeth in boiling water.
Why not?
You can't put false teeth in boiling water.
Sure, you wouldn't feel it.
I don't know. It's a Fermanagh listener said that.
What do they know out there?
Null is on 1.
Levels are fine before the news, increased during news, and dropped after. Gerry, Engelbert Humperdinck, Tom Jones, and Gilbert O'Houlihan had the same manager years ago. Of course, we know that.
Gordon Mills.
Gordon Mills, he'd done them all, didn't he?
Yeah.
I remember the Jackie Hurst trio playing Cayleys and Macaroni near Armoy. That man was right. He was a brilliant box player. Whilst I'm on, let me offer my congratulations to Loch Giel Shamrocks on the magnificent win in Dublin last night. That's hurling again. Tell Sean you meant sagebrush. The Segura cactus are brilliant. I didn't mean sagebrush. I meant Segura cactus.
I'm not getting involved in this. It's got nothing to do with me.
Tipperary was a Dudley Moore house famous for British Army soldiers looking from the front for a bit of how's your father's your mother still working. So the general consensus of opinion appears to be that Tipperary was indeed a place of ill repute where ladies of the night would gather. Did you find out?
It wasn't, no, but it's coming to me. And it's not.
Why didn't you look it up on Google? Emma, for God's sake, he's been thinking about that for half an hour.
It spoils it.
I was also disappointed in the Joe Dolan show. It was not the typical Joe show. No show, no dough, no Joe. I think it was a carefully staged show from Mullingar. For Joe to go through a show without moving and still have his jacket and tie on is unusual. Yet not be lashing sweat was very strange, and his brother Ben was watching him all the time.
So Ben never took his eyes off him.
I thought Joe was miming. That makes sense to you?
Did Ben wear the old Irish?
Ben had a good Irish, yes.
Oh, well, it looked terrible.
No, well, he never. I think he had a late Irish. I think he didn't. He wasn't like a lifetime Irish wigger,
right?
Like Joe Dolan, like Dickie Rock.
Uh-huh.
I saw Joe Dolan some years ago in a televised state event down south. He was singing in the cathedral during the service, and it was so bad that I nearly crawled onto the sofa. So do you remember the night we saw him?
Yeah.
Oh, would you love to tell that story? We can't tell it. Does Gerry use his bus pass for all those journeys he talks about? Cruel.
Yeah.
Gerry, that poem is absolutely brilliant, and you just let that guy go. Yes, it was very like Robert Service, as my dad used to read me those poems. You should give that man a regular spot on your show. No, but let me just...
He has.
I know. Don't argue with me for. I know. Don't argue with me. That's from Nuala in Belfast. Let me explain what happens. You see, the worst thing you could do...
Is that the same Nuala that's on one?
I don't know.
There's a Nuala on one.
All right, then.
Just check.
Nuala with a hula?
All right.
See, let me just explain what I think. Now, for instance, if I'm sitting here, the presenter of the show, and a person comes on and reads a poem,
yes, right?
If it's very good,
yes,
you just say, thank you. And you leave the poem to resonate in the person's head.
Oh, you do not?
Yes, I do.
No, you do not.
I do.
You do not. No, you don't. That's what I'm saying. No, you do. You do not.
I don't say, that was great. When did you write that? Tell me all about that
yes,
poem.
You do.
You do it at the start.
How can you do it at the start if you can't say that was great if you haven't heard it?
No, you say at the start, tell me what this poem is about, and they tell you what it's about. And if it's good, you just leave it.
You do not.
I do. And this is what this man's complaining about. What do you think he's complaining about? That I just left and I just went away from him. You just leave it, because the poem speaks for itself. Gerry, have you ever checked on Geordie lately? And did you ever deliver his Christmas present of whiskey? No and no. I just watched you in Wogan's Ireland last night, and your part was very good, but has your hair filled out since? See, the cruelty is there. It's there for all day.
I watched Wogan last night. I didn't see you on it.
There were two parts. I was on the second part. There were two programmes on.
Was it?
BBC 4.
Yeah.
Part 1, down south. Part 2, up north. I was in the northern one.
Oh.
Well, why would I be in Limerick?
Well, I don't know.
What do you say now? Have you got somebody here?
Yes, Nuala.
Where is she?
Belfast.
I know, but on this thing here.
One.
Nuala, good morning.
Good morning,
Gerry. How are you today?
I'm sorry. Talking into the microphone. I can't hear you.
I know that's the way it goes here. I'm sorry. It's the equipment. Can you hear me now?
Sort of.
Can you hear me, Mother?
That's better.
Okay.
Gerry, you said earlier that the fastest way to travel between Derry and Belfast
by horse and cart.
In fact, the quickest way to travel is by car.
If there's no slurry spreader in front of you?
Sorry?
If there's no slurry spreader or tractor in front of you? When you're driving from Derry, if you're driving from Derry to Belfast, you go
by car.
When you go
until you attained a certain age and got the bus pass, you always travelled by car.
I always travelled by car.
I think it's your aversion to paying money now that you'll go anywhere where it's free.
No, I sometimes I do not do that. I take the bus. I take the bus sometimes when I'm tired.
No, you've only taken the bus since you got the bus pass.
I haven't got a bus pass.
Of course you have a bus pass.
I'm sorry, we seem to have lost that caller. I can't. Sorry, we maybe perhaps come back to her at some future date. We've lost her. Oh. Sorry about that. Just apologise to that lady. We lost her there. This is our last song today. This is Rodney Crowell, Fate's Right Hand. Great.
Cool as a rule, you don't learn in no school. You can't brown nose a teacher from a dunce hat stool. It's the hum and the rhythm, the birds and the bees, the mamas and the papas and the monkeys in the trees. Brothers and the sisters living life on the street. Play the hunch, pull the punch. You'll never get beat by the junk food, tattooed white dude, true blood, honky with an attitude, coming unglued. Fate's right hand, I don't understand at all. Billy loves women like a junkie loves dope. Give him just enough rope, the monkeys don't choke. She's a Bill Blast combo, maxed out mambo, DKNY, caught him in a lie. Ken Starward, man, we're talking absurd, spending $40 million just to give talking about the poontang slow song on the bone, rec hall dance, double date Debbie with a pole in my pants. First comes love like it always did, or we wouldn't be talking about the Houston Kid. Pulled up his chunk, old dead skunk drunk, trotted line Freddy's got his dogs in the trunk. Fate's right hand, I don't understand at all. Fate's right hand, man, I don't understand at all.
Rory says, my wife is a dentist and she says dogs love dentures and she believes that gentleman's false teeth are being currently used by a Jack Russell. What can I say?